This is INCRadio DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Made in Australia.
Good day, mates. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone watching this show from Australia and all over the world. Welcome back to another episode of Made in Australia, INCradio's Australia Satellite Studio's flagship show every Sunday. I am Brother Hans Tividan, all the way from the local congregation of Stirling here in the Ecclesiastical District of Western Australia, coming to you live today from the wonderful and beautiful land down out the great southern land of Australia. And I am very excited for today's episode because I was walking around today this morning and just starting to appreciate a lot of the wonderful sceneries around me, because this episode will highlight a wonderful hobby that will amplify all of the wonderful things that we see around in nature. And I am so excited for all of the topics that we will be talking about today, because we will be looking today at a wonderful hobby which I have been wanting to go back to after a very long time, and this is the hobby of painting. This is a hobby that shines a lot on many people and brings about creativity, calmness, and wonderful colors. And I am so excited to hear about all of the conversations that we'll be having today, all of the wonderful stories related not just to painting, but also all of the wonderful visual arts that we will be exploring today. And as usual, I am not alone. I'm always joined by wonderful people, and today we are being joined by one of our handsome hosts coming all the way from the eastern side of Australia. Hello there, Brother Morgan. Welcome to today's show.
Yes, good afternoon, Brother Hans. Not as handsome as you, brother. Very pogy Hans. Reginald Natividad joining us today. I am Brother Morgan Goodfellow from the local congregation of Townsville in the Ecclesiastical District of Queensland, the Great Southern Land, Australia. Today's episode is very, very exciting. It's a personal hobby of mine as well, compared to painting and artist segment that we have today. So for all of our artists, painters, and the like that are out there, join us today as we dive deeper into artistry. Before we begin, we'd love to give a big thank you to all of our viewers who have joined us for Mates of Mia.
From the bushland to the beaches and everywhere in between, let's thank this week's Mates of Mia.
From the Ecclesiastical District of Queensland, Australia. We are INCRadio.
The local congregation of Gladstone. We love INCRadio.
The local congregation of Manor Lakes.
We love
Yes, a big thank you so much to all the mates of Made in Australia who are constantly tuning in each and every week, sharing your love, your support for us here. We love to hear from you. Continue to send through your likes, share our links for today. Subscribe. Don't forget to click the notification bell to stay up to date with all of INC Radio Made in Australia's updates. So before we continue, we want to acknowledge all of our early birds who are joining us today in our live chat on YouTube. We have Ka Raja Ramando. Happy watching from the local congregation of Wyndham. Thank you for joining us, Ka Raja. Jaja, my mistake. We have Ka Renalyn Embargo, who says, happy watching from the local congregation of Melbourne. Ka Ernesto Malasa, who says, hello, Ka Raymond from the local congregation of Shepparton. Hello, Ka Ernesto. Thank you for joining us. We have Sister Jerica Manguit, who says, happy watching brethren from the local congregation of Adelaide in South Australia. Thank you for joining us, sister. Again, a big warm welcome to all of the brethren from the local congregation of Dean Park, Melbourne, Adelaide, and Caboolture. Continue to send through all of your comments. We love to hear from you guys. Hans, an exciting episode we have for today.
Definitely, Brother Morgan, and thank you very much to everyone who is currently on our live chat and on this episode as we are actively looking at everyone. And please keep your stories coming all the way through. And not just any stories and shoutouts, but also anything that you'd like to share about your wonderful hobbies. Because who knows, any one of you in the future might actually end up becoming our guest as well here in Made in Australia. And I think Brother Morgan and I would love to see you as well. Before we get into the heart of our conversations, let's get a watch of some of our brethren and also some of the things that we have ready for you today. So stay tuned because you are watching Made in Australia, brought to you by INC Radio's Australia Satellite Studio, one of the official satellite studios of INC Radio.
Made in Australia.
I really love watching Made in Australia because it not only helps me discover new things, but it serves as our family bonding time.
Well, Made in Australia is just so versatile. It has everything. It showcases all the different congregations and GWSs of Australia, all of their talents, their hard work, life advices, everything like that. Getting to know all the brethren all across the country is just so beautiful to see. They also give so many advices like renting, investing, businesses. I remember one episode about your essentials in a long drive, and that's definitely needed in Australia. It also showcases Australia as well. All the different cities, all the beautiful scenics. It's just so beautiful to watch. And it's just, you can learn so many things from these episodes.
Made in Australia.
Welcome back to INC Radio Made in Australia, brought to you by INC Radio Australia Satellite Studio. A big thank you to all of our brethren who are sending through their thank yous and their respect for what INC Radio consistently produces each and every week. We can't do it without you guys. So if you guys ever want to be featured on INC Radio Made in Australia or Mates of Mia, send through your requests or your interest to your local evangelical worker, your resident minister, or even your head deacons and the like, your leaders there in your local congregation, and they'll forward us your requests, your interest to be interested. If you have any hobbies, something unique that stands out, or if you can relate in any way to any of our episodes that have been featured, we'd love to hear from you and we'd love to feature you. So don't be afraid. We love your interest. So we'll continue on with all of our early birds who are joining us today. We have so many of you guys flooding our comment section. It's awesome to see. We love your support. A big shout out to Sister Chloe De La Paz from the local congregation of Adelaide, who's joining us. Thank you for joining us, Sister Chloe. Carl Fernando Abelgaz, who is from the local congregation of Dean Park in New South Wales, Australia East. Carl Wilma Valedes, greetings from the local congregation of Melbourne. Greetings, Sister Wilma. We have Carl Brian Paola Lakson, who says, happy Sunday po mga kapatid. God bless po. From the local congregation of Shepparton. God bless you, Carl Brian po. We appreciate your support and your love. We have Car Denise Christel. Happy viewing po from the local congregation of Rockingham. Thank you, Car Denise. And last but not least, we have Car Eunice Trinidad, who says, hello po. Happy viewing from the local congregation. The group worship service of Barossa Valley Group Worship Service. So continue to share thoughts. Keep on commenting. I will be with you there in the live chat session. But for now, Car Hans, let's get started with today's discussion.
Thank you very much, Brother Morgan. And before we actually start, I actually got distracted in the live chats because it's very interesting what we're getting in the live chats at the moment. I think there's new updates with the live chats, and it actually shows the top. I think the top commenters that we've got every week. So we will also keep an eye out for those every week moving forward for our INC radio broadcast. And I also saw a comment from Sister Chloe De La Paz as well. She said, "If I start painting, it might go straight to the bin." I would be really interested. I think you, Brother Morgan, would be interested to see Sister Chloe's painting someday.
Of course, of
I
course. I throw it in
really
the
think so.
bin, sister. We want to see it. Take a picture of it, send it through to your local congregation leadership, and they'll send it through to us, and we'll feature it. Even if it's good or bad, we'll love it. We love seeing it.
Yeah, definitely so. And now let's get into our conversation today, as well as with our wonderful guests. And to kick off, I would say that we have a wonderful mother and daughter duo joining us today, and who will express their love for painting today. So let's welcome our wonderful mother and daughter duo today. Hello, po sisters.
Hello po, Kuya. Hello. Hello, Brother Hans. Hello, Brother. Good afternoon po.
All right, po.
Yes, this is Lee. This is Sister Lee po, and from the congregation of Perth. I would like to share my passion for painting, my love for colors, and the happiness that it brings to me. So it's also one way for me to celebrate the creation of God. So I'm so happy to be here po.
Hi, I'm Sister Isabel, Sister Isai, also from the local congregation of Perth. And I'd like to also celebrate all the colors and the wonderful things God has made for us here.
And thank you very much, thank you very much for Sister Lee and Sister Isai for joining us today. And we are going to learn a lot about your wonderful paintings as well very shortly. And we'd like to get a little bit more of understanding first, but on how exactly you started painting and exactly what got both of you motivated but to start on with this hobby, po.
First and foremost for me, Brother Hans, I love painting and colors since I was a kid. But then I was not able to continue with like in a regular basis. So when I'm back in Australia, we are doing the family hour, and we thought last year one of the activities that we will do during this specific time is painting. So what we did last December was to paint as a family. So each and every one of us do their paintings, and with the help of God, we successfully made it. And moving forward, then I said, yeah, I think this is something that I'd love to do. So I just continue on with it. Although I'm only active in painting for a year already, I'm still a work in progress. So I think there's still a lot of things to learn.
For me, I started painting initially just to help me with my studies because drawing and painting diagrams helped me remember them. But slowly, as I did more and more of it, painting became sort of like a hobby for me because it was like a good way to like de-stress and take breaks from studies and from life in general.
Amazing, Sister Isa, Sister Lee. Thank you for joining us today as we dive deeper into broadcast today. Sister Lee, Sister Isa, we had mentioned you guys kind of contribute your painting efforts to connecting more with your family. In that discussion that we had earlier, you said that you conduct painting and these hobbies in something that you call Family Hour. For our audience joining us today, can you give them and us as well an understanding in regards to what a family hour is inside the Iglesia Ni Cristo Church of Christ?
Yes, Brother Morgan, the family hour is one of the activities that we do in the church to help strengthen the bond of the families. Especially this is specific for the parents and the children relationship. So the church administration is giving us a handout, and there are verses there that needs to be read. It's a weekly reading, so every family can choose their time and days on when they will conduct it. But personally, for our family, we do it normally on a Sunday when everyone is available, and we do it in the morning. So what happens is the head of the family, the father, will be the one reading the pamphlets, and then he will start to relate it with his experiences, explain it to the kids, tell what happened in during our time, because definitely there is a gap between our time and their time right now. So we kind of bridge it together. On Actually, in the Church of Christ, there was no difference. We are all bound by what God wants us to do, and it is that's how we share it to one another. And then if there are issues that we need to discuss, especially with the kids, because sometimes they tend to not talk too much, and they are facing something already. So this is one way of breaking the barrier. And then if there's something that they need to air out, then we just discuss it as a family during that time.
Amazing, Sister Lee. We appreciate that. So, yes, a family hour inside the Church of Christ, Iglesia Ni Cristo, as Sister Lee has mentioned, is an hour that the family set aside to kind of bond together. The church administration sends to these families, or our families inside the Church of Christ, Bible verses and guidelines to all the more strengthen the love and unity within the family households, which is, as Sister Lee had mentioned, typically read out by the head of the household, the father or the husband. During these family hours, Sister Lee, do you contribute, as our discussion today is about painting, your hobbies in painting together during that family hour?
Yes, because what happens after we do the reading, we do the prayer, we will also do an activity where everybody enjoys. So one of the things that we did in the past is painting, like a family activity. Or sometimes you can also go out and eat out together. But we love painting because this is more of an expression of how we feel. So it's an expression of ourselves, our emotions, and it takes a while. So everybody must be there without any distraction, doing the painting together. So what happened with what we did? We are in one long table, and then we do all our paintings together, chat while we're doing it, laugh together, and yeah, just enjoy it.
Sounds like a great time, Sister Lee. An amazing time to enjoy the family, strengthening the love you guys have as a family. Such a blessed opportunity to have, and that is guided by our church administration here in the Iglesia Ni Cristo Church of Christ. Now, in regards to your painting and your hobbies in painting, Sister Lee, Sister Isai, who are joining us today, Sister Lee, we'll begin with you. Is there a favorite subject you have right now that you like to paint? You have a certain passion for maybe landscapes, flowers, simple objects, or anything abstract? We want to give our audience an understanding of what drives you to paint, essentially, Sister Lee.
Yes, the object of my paintings right now is flowers, so specific to tulips. This is one way for me to celebrate how blessed we are with the beautiful things that God made around us. So this is one way of me expressing myself and enjoying also at the same time the creation of our Lord God.
Oh, it's beautiful, Sister Lee. Yes, we have a lot to be thankful for. It's amazing that you're able to express that love and that just appreciation for what God's created through your artistry and through your painting. We understand also, Sister Lee, that you have a few displays for our brethren to observe. Would you mind showing us maybe the beginning of where your passion began with some paintings that you have there, to the progress that you've made up until now, and explain to us exactly how you were able to progress through each painting?
Yes, so Brother Morgan, painting is not just an expression of oneself. This is also a journey where you can improve yourself in many aspects of life. So what I will show you right now is when we were in Australia already. So how I started and how it evolves. Although I'm still a work in progress, but I wanted to show everyone that there is always hope. We just need to continue on, and it's a skill. So we need to just keep practicing. So the first one that I will show you, is this. This is actually inspired by Vincent Van Gogh. This is the Starry Night. But then as we go along, we have more preferences in terms of colors. So I started to evolve from more of the dark blues, the dark greens into something bright. and then I started to do the tulips. So I will show you the first tulip I made together with my family when I mentioned during the family hour. Yeah. So this is the first one that I made, and as you can see, even the sizes are not yet even. So when I did this, actually this has been, I think we're done for 20 times already. Before you will, the original one is extended up to here because as I do the painting, I made some, not really a mistake, but I made some differences on the shapes. So this is how it looks right now, and you can see very small to bigger ones, and then we already have variation in colors. So after this one, I made another painting, and this is the one. So I was able to already evolve from the dark to a bit lighter, but still dark, and you can see here, you can already identify the water there. So there is already a difference. I could notice it. The sizes are even, the colors are not so dark. And then I did another one. So we are already doing a different kind of color of the tulips. It's still not 100%, but at least I was able to change from darker to the brighter tone. And then here we go. So we started to have the real tulip. You can see already I have the brighter colors there. And then the darker are the leaves here. And then I can already separate the petals of the tulips. And this is so easy to make already. It's not hard for me anymore as I go along. And I can already paint this through imagination. So, and then right now, this is one thing that I'm doing at the moment. So it's really bright. It's color pink. But this is still a work in progress. So I still have some, probably 2-3 days to complete this. Uh, and so, yes, that's the evolution of my tulip painting.
Wow, that's amazing, Sister Lee. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of courage to share your personal hobbies, such as painting, with brethren and our audience joining us today. When it comes to painting, how long does it usually take for you to do a canvas? Typically, I think is it an A3 size, or what's the typical size that you usually paint? And how long does it usually take to complete a painting?
Oh, to complete one painting, it will be more than a day, definitely. For me, I will be able to finish until 80% of it, like raw. For probably, if I'm in the mood, if I'm in that mood, really, the momentum, I could do the 80% in one day. But then definitely, as you go along, it will take me probably 1 week because as you, as this dries up, there are changes and improvement that you needs to do. So you will see more of improving a certain part of it as you go along. So for me, probably 7 days, I would be able to make this size. So yes, this is an A3 size. So yes,
Wow, that's a long time, 7 days to do an A3 size. But it just goes to show there is a lot to understand when it comes to painting and artistry in general. We'll circle back to the depths of your artistry later on in our discussion, Sister Lee. It's very interesting. I can't wait to see uh, what it involves. We'll continue and hand the discussion over to Sister Isai. Isai also has a passion for artistry. We'll begin with her first passion or her first um, artwork, which I believe is painting. Sister Isai, can you give us an understanding what got you into painting originally, and what it is you might be focused on at the moment when it comes to painting?
For me, initially when I started painting, it was meant to be like an aid to my studies because one of my favorite subjects I'm doing at school right now is human biology. So painting was like a big help for me in terms of making diagrams. But from there, I've been painting more and more, and it's been on a lot of different things. So, like sometimes if I take a picture of like say we went out to eat and I really like the photo I've taken, I could be painting that whatever dish we got. Other times, when our family goes somewhere for like a little short trip and I take a picture, it could be that. So for me, I tend to just paint whatever I feel like when I want to paint it.
Yeah,
Oh,
amazing.
definitely.
So when, sorry, brother Hans. So when passion strikes, essentially, Sister Isa, you take advantage of that opportunity and you kind of just convey what you're feeling and your emotion. Is that right?
Yeah.
Amazing. And so we had heard earlier, Sister Isai, Brother Hans, Sister Lee joining us, that you also kind of contribute your hobby to your studies at the moment. Do you want to give the audience who are joining us today, and Brother Hans and I, an understanding in regards to your studies and how it contributes to your hobbies?
So right now, I'm actually just finished year 11. And for year 11, I'm doing this course called ATAR, which is like a straight pathways course to go to university, where we get to pick 5 subjects, like 4 to 6 subjects. I'm doing 5 of our choice, and we study that and we get graded and ranked of our performance in those subjects, which will help us in our university. So one of those subjects is called human biology, where we just learn everything related to the human body. And because of that, there's a lot of diagrams and a lot of pictures and different parts we have to memorize the names of and their functions, which is why I started painting. Because as I draw and as I paint and color in that part of the body, I tend to like memorize its name and how it fits in with the rest of the body, like how an object would fit into the rest of a picture.
Yeah, amazing. It's so good to hear you have that God-given talent, as Sister Lee had mentioned earlier, to contribute those connections to not only your livelihood and your studies, but to your hobbies as well. And they kind of just go hand in hand, and all the more they circle around each other and contribute to the progression of your studies as well as your artistry. And we can't wait to see where that takes you, Sister Lee, Sister Isa. We'll continue our discussion. I do believe Brother Hans has many questions for you. He's just as excited as I am to see how your artistry has taken place and evolved over the years.
Oh yes, definitely, Brother Morgan. And I was just listening to the conversations and even looking at Sister Lee's paintings a while ago, and they were very lovely to start off. And really, I would give my complete hands up to Sister Lee for all of the beautiful tulips that she has shown earlier today. To everyone who is watching our stream on YouTube right now, and I hope you also appreciated Sister Lee's artworks in the same way that myself and Brother Morgan have started out. Now let's move on to a little bit more of the preparatory side of getting into painting book. As I believe you've also mentioned earlier that you recently back into the hobby of painting book, and we were just wondering for anyone who was just starting out getting into painting, how do you get started as a beginner, and what particular things should we look out for in terms of which tools, materials, and mediums should we use for when we're beginning our painting?
Personally, for myself, when I started painting, because this is already a hobby, and I might make mistakes in it. So what I do, I did not spend on very expensive ones first. So I just use the whatever medium is available. So for example, the ones that being used by the elementary or high school students, I just bought those types of paints um, for beginners. I did not buy the more expensive brushes and sort of things. I had the canvas. So whatever is available and it's not very expensive, I started with them. And then after some time, as you get comfortable with the art, so slowly I will improve also the level of the mediums that I'm using. So I'm using the acrylic, and then you start I just started with the generic brands so that it's not expensive. It's more of like for you to help your hands adjust and get to know the paints, how you mix them, how does when you mix them, how does it dries up. So those kind of things. So but yes, I suggest do the cheaper ones first.
And that's very interesting insight for Sister Lee, especially when we're starting to just get used to the new hobby of painting. we also don't want to go too much into spending a lot on just starting with a lot of expensive materials straight away, and then finding out that we're not able to get into the basics first. I think that's really a very important step to take first, and that is to get to be very familiar with all the basics before we actually get into getting more expensive and more particular products. Would you also say the same, Sister Isai, when it comes to starting out as a beginner in painting? And are there other tips that you would also suggest personally yourself as someone who got into the hobby recently as well?
For someone starting out in painting, I'd say have like an inspiration or something you want to know you want to paint. And also, I'd say definitely look up and study a few things on the subject. For example, maybe study things like color theory and how mixing together different colors will produce this color, or how putting together two colors will give like a picture a lighter or a darker mood as well, to like help with your paintings as well.
Oh, there we go. And I think that's also wonderful insight, Sister Isa. And I remember we had a little bit of a discussion earlier about this. That I remember, Sister Lee, you said that you do acrylic painting, and mostly you, Sister Isa, would do watercolor painting. And I was wondering for the longest time, what are the differences between the two? Because I'm not sure if there is. I'm completely coming off as a total beginner here. What differences are there between painting with acrylic material versus when you're painting with watercolor materials?
Brother Hans, first and foremost, the reason why I like acrylic is the depth of the color. For me, acrylic are darker. I mean, uh, brighter and darker. So the colors are more vivid when you use acrylic. Um, and it is more of like you are really using, you know how you see the normal paints, right? They are a bit sticky when you
Mhm.
touch them. So acrylic is similar to this feel, and when you stroke with your brush, you can immediately see the color. With the watercolor, I think Sister Isa will explain more because she likes that better.
Yeah.
Um,
So the difference between watercolor and acrylic is obviously acrylic is a lot thicker than watercolor, which is something I found I really struggled with, which is why I tend to lean more towards watercolor. Also, there's a difference in the way both paints you have to use them. Because for watercolor, I'm not too sure if it's the same for acrylic. For watercolor, you start off light, like you start with painting the light things and then you go darker, instead of, I think, like usually you go dark and then light. And then for watercolor, another thing is the colors, they do, when they dry out, they tend to be a bit more muted as when they're wet. So there is that difference as well between the two things.
So,
Hmm.
Brother Hans, for our audience joining us today, Sister Lee, Sister Isai have um, a deep passion for painting. Sister Isai has obviously an understanding of what we had discussed earlier in regards to color theory. There's a lot of depth when it comes to painting that we'd love to discuss. We could be here for hours on end. It's a personal interest of mine as well, just artistry in general, I'm sure, as well as the rest of our audience who are joining us today. But aside from painting, Sister Isa, we understand you also have another hobby in crocheting. Can you share with us and our audience joining us today what exactly is crocheting and what got you into crocheting?
Okay. So crocheting is a little bit like knitting, except instead of having two, I think they're called knitting sticks, you have something known as a crochet hook, which is a stick with a little hook at the end. And so crocheting is, what got me into it was while I was like taking a break from one of my studies, I kind of gotten like a video on how to make gloves for it, and then I kind of found it interesting because it wasn't something you see every day. So from there, I fell into a rabbit hole of like crocheting and how to crochet, and then I kind of just eventually I wanted to try it for myself, and that's how I got into crocheting. And for crocheting, there's like a lot of different things people do. Some people they like doing clothes, other people like making little charms with it. And for me, I like making like 3D like stuffed things. For example, there's this. It's like a 3D cake, which I just found really fun to do.
Oh, amazing. And for a piece like that, Sister Isai, how long would it usually take you to knit or crochet a little slice of cake?
Um, I think that one took me a little over 3 hours, but for maybe it may be different for other people, but for me it's because like as I did it, there were a few mistakes I made on the way, so I had to go back and then fix those mistakes and then kept going. So the process is a bit long, I'd say, but for me, the result you get is very satisfying. And when you see the result, you makes you happy because when you see it, you tell yourself, I did that. I put my time and hard work into that.
Yeah, absolutely. You should be proud of your progression, Sister Isai and Sister Lee. You guys have an amazing experience and an amazing depth and passion for not only painting, but artistry, crocheting. It all contributes to one another. Such a beautiful passion to be able to share with us. We'll continue our discussion. But before we continue, we have so many people flooding our comment section with their appreciation for your passion, Sister Lee, Sister Isai, Brother Hans. Can we share those with our audience and with our guests joining us today?
Oh, yes, definitely, Brother Morgan. And I'm looking at the live chat again, and there's one very interesting message that we got just now. And Brother Robert Santos from the local congregation of Dean's Park is saying hello po to you, Sister Lee. Hello, hi po, Kalor Lee. We miss you po. Tulips are my wife's favorite. And also we've got some other commenters. So Brother Rock Palomares from Adelaide, Brother Paul Barrientos from Brimbank, and also he's mentioned the Craigie Burn Extension and Horsham Group Worship Service, Brother Renz Balon, Brother Mark Jason Montes, Brother Hans Raga, Sister Aisha Isabel from Knox City, Sister Geraldine Nagal from Maryland, Sister Sai Deriada from Port Adelaide, Sister Violet Mercado saying hello po Kajes and Kalevi Prado from Altona, Brother Randolph Sampson, happy viewing po local of Manor Lakes, Sister Bridget Libatike from Dandenong local congregation, and even Sister Mirna Tenoso earlier today from the local congregation of Queen's Park is saying hello to everyone. And we'll keep looking out at your comments also, not just for our discussion, but also for the other parts of our show, Brother Morgan. We'll
Yeah,
keep them
absolutely.
flooding.
Absolutely, Brother Hans. There's so much love and support coming through from our audience for you, Sister Lee, Sister Isai. To our live chat, continue to send through your support. Your comments and your appreciation means the world, not only to us and the INC radio crew, but of course, our guests who are joining us here today. It takes a lot of courage to come out and share these passions with you guys and to share their personal and emotional developments with you. It's something you can kind of only experience if you're in their position. So a big appreciation to our guests joining us today. As we continue our discussion with them, we'll dive deeper into kind of how much more they've progressed, and again where their emotional perspectives kind of stem from. But stay tuned as we continue to watch Made in Australia, brought to you by INCRadio Made in Australia, one of the official satellite studios of INCRadio Made in Australia. Again, for the meantime, please watch this video from our brethren, Sister Carmen Ho from the local congregation of Melbourne, who is a professional animator. Please watch.
Painting did not start off as a simple hobby for me. I think I started drawing first. My grandma and uncle would tell me to copy magazines to grow and learn and develop skills as a kid. I would try to copy a lot of things. Eventually, I did get into watercolor because of high school, where there was always like watercolor painting competitions that would help get students scholarships. So then I got into watercolor, and that kind of led to acrylic because I was very impatient to wait for watercolor. And eventually I kind of stayed with acrylic. and I went to an art college, and they taught how to use poster colors and poster watercolors, which is like a little bit thicker than watercolor, but not as quick to dry as acrylic. And that led me to loving art and animation, which led me to want to pursue animation as a career. What I love most about painting is that when I start, I go into this weird little world and I lose track of time, and time does not exist. And as crazy as that sounds, it's like going to a whole different universe, and I'm just so stuck into that painting and that world. And it's so rewarding just seeing the colors and seeing how everything looks when it's all finished. I would say my artistic style is I really love weird. I love weird. The weirder it is, the more I love. I love cute things. I love, I'll show you an example. I made this little baby rat. And it's in the shape of a heart because I love weird. I also made this fat dinosaur. So I would say my artistic style is cute, weird, and nostalgic. So my creative process basically starts with I would watch a movie or see something interesting as I'm going about my day, and I would think, how would I be able to do this differently? I would sort of start off with traditional sketch, and I actually do have it right here. This is my traditional sketch. And what I'm trying to figure out in this traditional sketch is I'm trying to figure out the composition, I'm trying to figure out how the character looks like, and most importantly, the story I'm trying to convey, as well as the emotions. Then I would bring this traditional sketch onto my computer, and then I would trace over it, and then I would spend a lot of time coloring it. So these are the colors, and this is the finished piece. And color is really, really important because if your drawings are not the best, sometimes colors can do a lot to fix it. And colors play with psychology a lot. So I spend a lot of time with the colors, and I stop when I start looking at it from afar and I laugh at it and I feel really happy. That's when I know it's done. This is my advice to anyone and everyone who is interested in art and wants to do art. It's going to be difficult. It is not a sprint, it is a marathon. It takes a lot of hard work, and you see all the great artists out there and you don't feel really good about yourself and you're scared to start. I would say be brave, have courage. Like, God gave you these skills for a reason. So, you know, you could do a lot with what God has given you. And I think if it's there for a reason. And you should definitely pursue it with all your heart. Whether if it's a hobby or an actual career, I think if you want it enough and if you work hard, you'll be able to accomplish anything, especially through God's grace. So I was very thankful that God gave me this amazing gift that didn't really develop until 3 years ago. It was there, but it wasn't fully developed. And I'm really, really glad that I pushed through it, because now I have all these amazing blessings, and it's all because of God. So my advice to you guys, if you really want to be in art, is just don't give up.
Made in Australia.
Welcome back to Made in Australia, brought to you by INCRadio Australia Satellite Studio. And just like our guest joining us today, Sister Lee and Sister Isai, Sister Carmen has spent probably more than 100 and over 1,000 hours contributing to her passions, her artistry, her animations. And just like Sister Isai and Sister Lee had mentioned earlier, don't give up. Your consistency contributes to your progression, consistent practice, helps to learn the fundamentals of, as Sister Carmen had mentioned in her video that she shared with us, compositions, and as Sister Isa had mentioned earlier, your color theories. And it also simplifies your complex subjects into basic subjects. So don't give up, as Sister Carmen had mentioned. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So take your time, be patient, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Usually, in your mistakes is where breakthrough happens. So trust the process and continue your hobbies. Brother Hans.
Thank you very much, Brother Morgan. And yes, I've also picked up a lot of wonderful lessons from Sister Carmen, and a lot of these lessons are also being shown to us today by our wonderful guests. So it's also high time to not only just be inspired to also take up on our hobbies, but also to put all the more our faith in God in everything we do, including the hobbies that we all partake in. Now, going back but to our discussion earlier, I remember Sister Lee and Sister Isa, you did mention something about your family hour and how you included your paintings as activities that you would usually do for family are on top of the other activities that you as a family would engage in. And ever since all of you have started painting together as a family, what personal realizations have you come up with? Like, how did it help you when it comes to relaxing yourselves or making yourselves feel calmer or even better every day? Painting how did painting bring about these realizations to you personally in your lives?
Um, Brother Hans, personally for me, the first thing that it enhanced is my patience. Because with painting, it is not an instant, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of watching tutorial videos. Because for me, I think it's very important that I practice um, by mental practice is important for me before I even do the actual painting. Because it's so hard that you want to create, say, a shape, but you don't know how. So it's important that you do the mental picture and then how you will do it. So patience is an integral part of it. Another thing is that, yes, as you go and do it, because it's my passion as well, there is this inner happiness that radiates. So once I'm there, like what the sister had mentioned a while back, it's like this is a space without time. You just enjoy. And one time I was there until 2 a.m. doing it. It's a tulip. It's a simple thing, but it takes a lot of effort to do it and finalize it. And the good thing there is that as you do that, that is my that is also one of my me time with God. Sometimes I was able to talk to Him while I'm doing that because I'm on that very passionate and deep state when I do this hobby. So sometimes that's where I also talk with God. Not necessarily closing my eyes, but things that I was not able to communicate. I do that when I do my painting. It also calms me being a mother of three girls, having my job, my duties, everything. So there are so many things that we do every day. We need this type of spaces to be able to go back, reset, and think again. Did I do it right today? Did I make God happy today? What else did I do wrong? What else can I improve? So many things you will realize while you're doing this specific thing. For me, that's the effect of painting.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I really love, Sister Lee, how you mentioned that it's not just about bringing yourself into a deep state of focus whenever you're trying to paint, even to the point that sometimes you would stay up late at night because you get so focused on your paintings. But also, this activity that you have also gives you the time to also talk to God and express to Him everything that you're feeling, and that goes to tie together that even our hobbies are a way of us expressing our faith. Would you say the same as well, Sister Isa? How has this hobby also how has this hobby personally helped you as well? Not only with your studies but with your whole life generally.
For me, painting I've used it as an output to express my emotions. Because a lot of the time, I kind of struggle with like expressing exactly how I feel, and for me, painting has done that. Also, for me, ever since I've like started painting, I feel like I've become more grateful for a lot of the things God has given me. Because when I'm painting, I'm I can like reflect on like the small things that the blessings that God gives us every day that we kind of like take for granted because it's always there. For example, the life and the quality of life God has given us being here in Australia, with how we can like be able to like express ourselves freely, or we can serve God freely, because I know we have like brethren in other countries who sometimes struggle with that because of like their government or like that country's beliefs and traditions as well. So for me, painting's like a good way to reflect on all the things God has given us and blessed us with.
And I think Brother Morgan, we're very inspired both by not just Sister Lee but also Sister Isai with how they use their painting to also express their faith. What do you think, Brother Morgan?
Yeah, absolutely, Brother Hans. It's a beautiful way to convey um, the love you have for God's creations, as Sister Lee had mentioned earlier, as well as Sister Isai, her daughter, um, to capture how you feel about just what God's given us through your God-given talents. To be able to paint and convey your emotions is a blessing, and to also be able to share that with us today is all the more inspired. Not only myself, but I'm sure Brother Hans and our audience. I just want to share also with our guests today and our live chat from what I gathered from Sister Lee, Sister Isai, as well as Sister Carmen, that your patience and your consistency and your trust in our Lord God and his process is key to your development. And it just reminded me of a rule that there is when it comes to mastering your artistry or just a hobby in general, which we're discussing today. Is called the 10,000 hour rule, which basically, if you haven't heard of it before, it states that the 10,000 hour rule is a practice to achieving world-class expertise within a hobby. If essentially you do a hobby for over 10,000 hours, and obviously you're going to improve to some degree. So just don't give up. And also, while practice is crucial, it's mentioned that the type of practice is more important. Factors like the complexity of the skill, your growth and development from the fundamentals, as Sister Lee, Sister Isai, as well as Sister Carmen had gone through with us earlier. And just for a bit of more of an elaboration in regards to art itself from the Oxford Dictionary, the expression of art's definition is the expression or application of human creative skill and imagination, typically in a visual form, such as painting or sculpture, producing works to be appreciated primarily for their beauty or emotional power. So again, there's no specific definition to art. It is your inner beauty, your inner emotion conveyed into your hobbies, essentially. So there's so much we can talk about when it comes to hobbies. It's a personal interest of mine. I love all forms of art, dancing. I believe we had a dance episode just last week, which is another form of artistry, a way to convey yourself. Music, painting, crocheting, even as all forms of it. And for our live chat joining us today, if you have any of those personal hobbies or interests, share them with us or share them with your local leadership. We'd love to hear from you, because we can always benefit from your experience and how you're able to convey yourself emotionally and for positive reasons, of course. Sorry to go so deep into that segment. We'll circle back to our discussion with Sister Lee, Sister Isai. Essentially, we want to get a bit of an understanding in regards to your hobbies and primarily how they've helped bring people together, whether it's family or friends or even the wider community. We understand during your family hour, as we had discussed at the beginning of our discussion today or segment, you're able to connect through your hobbies in your family hours. How else can your hobbies kind of bring people together? Sister Lee, we'll begin with you.
Yes, Brother Morgan, thank you. It brings people together because I have joined two groups who had this painting activity. And what I noticed is that it doesn't matter if you are introvert, extrovert. When you do the art, you don't need to even speak. the art itself is a communication platform. When you do it, you are instantly connected with one another. You started to laugh, even you don't know that person. You started to laugh, you started to share your mediums, maybe darker, brighter colors. You started to have the instant connection with one another. It brings you in a place where everybody is level. All of you are on the same ground, and everybody, there is no right or wrong. Everybody's just enjoying and expressing themselves positively. So that's how positive an art is.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a beautiful way again to convey, Sister Lee. You have so many hidden metaphors and entendres essentially when it comes to the way you present yourself. It's beautiful to extract from you. I'm sure there's so much more we can gather from you. But essentially, you're saying, I love how you said there's no right or wrong answer, and how it's able to speak without even talking, essentially. And again, it brings up another entendre or metaphor where you may have heard before, a picture will paint 1,000 words. And again, you can take it anywhere you like, as long as, again, it's positive and from your own perspective. It's beautiful. Thank you so much, Sister Lee. Sister Isai, we're running very short on time, so we just want to quickly grab your insight in regards to how hobbies may be able to bring people together.
Hobbies can help bring people together because you can tell like people who have similar interests as you from like the way that they do art or like they do stuff. For example, in school I've made quite a few friends with our art because we would do like art on like a show we had interest on. So people I've never talked to before, we became friends because we have similar interests and similar passions, and we were able to express that together through our art.
Amazing. Yeah, it's just so many ways you can bring people together, no matter where you are. Art speaks to all cultures, all nationalities. There's no discrimination when it comes to your art. Again, it's just amazing to see. Sister Isai, Sister Lee, thank you so much for joining us today. We are about to wrap up our show, but before we wrap up, Brother Hans, we would like to ask our guest today if there's any special greetings you'd like to give to anybody who is watching you today or supporting you today on our episode. Sister Lee.
Yes, thank you, Brother Morgan. I would like to greet the brethren all around all over the world, and especially I would like to also greet our brethren in the locale of Perth, Western Australia. I would like to say hello to our district minister, Brother Noli, and our resident minister, Brother Olan, and to her beautiful wife, Auntie Jamie. She's having her firstborn soon. And also, I would like to greet my family, my husband, Brother JP, and my three wonderful kids, and my mom in Elizabeth in New Jersey.
Amazing, Sister Lee. Thank you so much, and to all of the support that you have today. Sister Isai, is there anybody you'd like to give a special shout out to?
I'd like to also greet our family back there in Philippines as well, and to all the brethren who were able to help and join our recent rally in Philippines as well for the court case about the flood Trinidad.
Oh, thank you so much, Sister. Yeah, our prayers go out to all of them. Thank you so much for your support and for joining us today. Again, it does take a lot of courage to go live in front of so many brethren, but your journey contributes to the strengthening of the faith of all those joining us today. And so for that, we give you our appreciation. And so for all of us joining us today, that will wrap up today's episode. Stay tuned this season as we continue exploring what it's like to live, work, and thrive in the land down under.
And thank you very much again to all of our wonderful viewers, our commenters, and also our lovely guest, Sister Lee and Sister Isai, for joining us in today's episode. As well as to our Christian family organizations, thank you very much for all of the opportunities that you give us in producing wonderful episodes like this every single week.
That's right. And above all, we thank our Deputy Executive Minister, Brother Angelo Aranya V. Manalo, and our beloved Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo. Until then, we will see you all again next week. Take care and God bless.